Maisie! It is so good to see you. You look fantastic.
Thank you for having me back.
I'm so happy to have you. Wait, we have to talk about the last time you were on because seriously,
it was crazy.
It was April Fool's, and we pranked our audience to think that you spoiled Game of Thrones, the ending.
The end of the show. And not just your audience, the entire world.
I think it's over 24 million hits on YouTube.
It's crazy. That was probably the most successful thing I did last year, and I was on the final season of Game of Thrones.
No, I mean, well, gosh, in case you haven't seen it, here's our April Fool's prank. Take a look at this. This is a prank.
When I found out that Arya died in, like, the second episode, I was...
What?
Is this live?
No.
We can edit that out.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the final season. Is she okay? Let me just go. April Fool's! Dude, honestly, I have to stop there. I could never top that. That's the best acting I've ever done in my life. We work well together, but you started shaking and I was like...
You know, I find these talk shows in person actually more nerve-wracking than it is like sitting in my kitchen. But I was so nervous coming on the show and such a big fan of your show, and I'd never done it before. And so I basically was just letting all of the nerves just come out in that moment. And I can hear people in the audience and they're whispering, and I was thinking, oh, they're not buying it. And like when I look back now, I realized that it was probably like nervous laughter, but at the time I was like, they are not buying this. Like, I'm gonna have to ham this up and like turn on the tears and get these people.
No, you did. You had the tears. They were on the edge, like a meniscus around your eye, and I was like, and then I felt so bad because I go, oh, this is like so. I do not do tricks. I don't do pranks. I go, oh no. I felt so bad for you because it was your first time on. I'm making you do this bit, and I go. And then, oh my gosh, honestly, I was exhausted. I can't even imagine what you go through acting, because if that's what acting is, oh, I'm not cut out for that at all. I was exhausted. I had to take like a month off just to sleep and get my energy back.
Nailed it. It was just beautiful. Anytime you're in a movie, I gotta be in that movie with you.
We have good chemistry, but I appreciate that. You started Game of Thrones when you were 12, so this is the first time in 10 years that you don't have to worry about spoilers. How does that feel?
It is so nice. I used to walk down the street and every single person that would recognize me, the only thing they'd ever want to know is like, tell me what happens in the next season. Like, did Jon Snow really die? Like, are you going to be blind forever? Like, all of these things that I just couldn't talk about. Now, I guess people actually just ask me like, what did you think of the final season? Because there's a lot of speculation over, the success of it.
Yeah, should Arya won the throne? Was that the right way to go? Let me tell you something. No one wants anything good to end. There is you just don't want it to end. So no matter what it was, it's perfect. It was great.
Oh, thank you.
We
had such a blast. We loved it. I was so happy with my ending, and it was just a beautiful end to a decade of my life. And I couldn't be happier with it, honestly.
When did you know? Did you film different endings, or did you know kind of before it was happening? Like, oops.
No, yeah, we just had one script the whole time. But in terms of like finding out the story, I was at like a costume fitting before we had received the scripts for the final season. And I was like looking on the wall because they had the breakdown of every scene, had like one sentence of what was going on. And I was looking at episode 3 because it was called The Long Night. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a battle. And so I'm like looking through, and it says Arya is with B, and then Arya is with the Hound, and then with Mel, and all these like kind of code names. And then I got to a scene and it says, Arya kills NK, and I was like, who is NK? Like, I have no idea which character that is. And it turns out it was the Night King. It was like the character.
The
like,
NK.
The guy who killed
You're like,
NK.
You're like, wait,
and I was thrilled. absolutely thrilled.
That was awesome, and what a performance too, man. And it was crusher. Congrats on all that stuff. I want to get to your movies, but also quickly, I saw that you've been getting into video games the past few months, and you debated
I have.
playing on
Video
Twitch.
games got me through this lockdown.
What are you playing? What are you playing?
I'm playing Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Minecraft. I played this really great game called Conduct Together, and you're basically like a train conductor, and you have to make sure that trains don't crash into each other and all of the people get picked up from their stations and the correct. It's ridiculous, but honestly, I completed it. It's so fun.
Conduct Together?
Conduct Together. You
Wow.
have to play it with a partner though, because trying to do that like alone with both, because one controller starts and stops, and the other controller
Picks people up?
changes
the track?
And
Oh.
so trying to do, it's like scratching your head and rubbing your tummy is
My
too
wife
much
will
for
never
one
do
person.
that with me. No.
Oh.
So I can never play that game. Oh, you know what game I'm playing, which is good? Have you played Fall Guys?
I just played this the other day for the first time.
It's fun, right?
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so much fun.
If any of you at home don't know what it is, it's probably on all the systems. But you basically drop out of the sky and you go online against 60 people and you do like an online obstacle course. And you're like these blobby type of people, and it's really fun. And it's short.
The way they're animated as well, like they're so stupid. Like they fall over and like flip around. They're really funny. I love them.
All right, well, I'm going to get a friend and then play Conduct Together. But in the meantime, you have a few projects coming up. The Owners is in theaters and on demand September 4th. This is like a creepy thriller with like twists, and it's scary. Are you a fan of those movies?
I am. Psychological thrillers and like horror is my favorite genre, and I always loved watching these movies, and so it was a real dream come true to be a part of something like that. And yeah, I mean, on set, like, you know, it's always just way more fun than it looks on camera. You're like screaming and covered in blood, and it's like a nightmare. But on set, we're just in this like beautiful home in southwest London in the middle of summer, just, you know, having a great time.
Screaming and covered in blood.
Yeah, sometimes, occasionally, and then occasionally having lovely dinner.
It's a good story. It's really fun. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, so now we flipped the script. Okay, interesting. And then The New Mutants is in theaters August 28th. People are freaking out waiting for this to come out. You filmed this 3 years ago, is that correct?
3 years ago, and we have had, I found out today, this is our 5th release date that we've ever had, and this is the first time we've ever got this far. So our tickets went on sale yesterday, and so it feels real this time.
It's official.
Do it.
It's coming out. It's coming out.
Yeah. But I'm so excited for this movie to come out. I still love it as much as I did the day that I signed on. And there's been a lot of like rumors as to why this film was delayed. But honestly, no other film was affected as much as ours was in the merger. And there's no other reason than that. People are gonna love it. It's a beautiful story, and I just can't wait for people to finally see it.
Yeah, people are going crazy. At one point, I read somewhere that I think someone said the director described it as Stephen King meets John Hughes.
Yes, exactly that. Nail on the head.
Because you're teenagers, and is that why?
Exactly, yes. We are these like teenage mutants. It's not like a typical superhero film where we've got it all figured out and we're saving the world. We actually are all kind of trapped in this medical facility, and we're trying to harness our powers. We still don't understand how to use them. We keep harming other people and harming ourselves. And so it's down to Dr. Cecilia Reyes, who is in charge of looking after us and teaching us how to control ourselves effectively. But they're also just teenagers who are just trying to grow up, and their bodies are changing, and they also have superpowers. And I think it's just very relatable for a lot of people, a lot of young people also. I think the younger generation are the most resilient. They've been through so much in like such a short space of time. And I think this movie really plays into that, like a really high stakes and really immense pressure. And also in the middle of it, just trying to be a teenager and fall in love and live life.
I want to show everyone a clip. Here is Maisie Williams in The New Mutants in theaters August 28th. Take a look.
hunting us?
No, it's hunting Danny.
Why, Danny?
Because that's what she fears. Come on. Help me.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Take Danny to a safe place, and I'll take care of this bear.
What are you going to do? I'm going to play with him.
Fantastic.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on and